How would you like to stop getting stuck in the friend zone or attracting passionless partners? I'm Brendan Burns, and I show you how to get the life and love that you want. Hit that subscribe button now, and let's get into it. This is my third breakdown analysis from Love is Blind, the Netflix show where singles try to find their match and fall in love without ever seeing each other face to face. In this video, I break down the behaviors of Mark Cuevas, a 24-year-old classic nice guy who seems innocent but behaves in ways that bring disaster and a massive friend zone situation upon himself. Let's learn what he did wrong so you can avoid the same mistakes and have attraction and passion in your relationships. Let's start by watching a clip.
What's your name?
I'm Jessica.
Jessica, nice to meet you, Jessica. I'm Mark.
Nice to meet you, Mark. Let's just get right down to it. Tell me about your family.
Both my parents are immigrants. They both came from Mexico. And I'm a mama's boy.
Okay, I'll make a note of that.
I don't even know where to begin in breaking this down and hopefully not tearing this guy to shreds. But right off the bat, his tone is so rapport-seeking, feminine energy, and high-pitched. Especially when dating, but also in business, it's critical to get in touch with your core energy and your true tone. Instead of going so high-pitched and so pleasing, because on an unconscious level, we think that is what makes people like us, you have to be your authentic self and find your true voice. Number 2, he hands the frame of the conversation over to her on a silver platter. He immediately lets her begin asking the questions because he doesn't know how to set the tone for this date. So she's asking the questions and she's in control. And last but not least, he is laughing at his own jokes. Please do not laugh at your own jokes. It's a sign of weakness and nervousness. By laughing, he also gives Jessica the frame again, so then she has to continue to ask the questions. He's creating an awkward silence rather than maybe laughing it off quickly and, more importantly, going into asking her questions, so he has the frame of the conversation. He could have said, all right, Nat, same question, tell me about your family, instead of laughing in a rapport-seeking tone and giving her the frame again. All right, let's watch another clip.
So I'm 24.
I'm 34.
Okay.
I've never dated anyone younger than me.
Really?
Huge Bears fan.
I'm a Bears fan until I die.
Every Sunday, I dress up my dog. Her name is Peyton Hester. I
No
dress her up in her
freaking way.
Peyton jersey. And we watch the Bears. You know what? I make the best Italian beef.
Seriously?
So many issues again here. Number 1, Mark's tone continues to be extremely high-pitched and disconnected from any masculine core that he may have. He says the word really as if he is one of Jessica's girlfriends, not a potential boyfriend, which, by the way, is exactly where he winds up long term. There is no true polarity between the two, and Jessica is willing to leave this guy in a heartbeat. You'll see more on that later. Instead of just saying really, mix it up. Say, you're too young for me. Make a joke. Create some tension for a good reason. Secondly, when Mark says no freaking way, he's a toothpick and he just falls over. I want you men, especially listening to this, when you're on dates or in meetings, sit up straight and get in touch with your core. Last but not least, he says the word seriously with all these question marks associated with it. I would try something like, oh, your recipe can't be better than mine, or even ask a question saying, hey, what's in it? So instead of saying seriously as, again, like a girlfriend and giving her the tone and the frame to just continue this conversation, ask a question, mix it up, challenge her a little bit, but do something different to help steer the conversation and steer the ship. All right, let's watch another clip.
We talk about so much stuff, then we don't ask the big questions, you know?
Yeah. So this one, so let's do this. This
Okay.
date we'll dedicate to asking the big questions.
2 problems here. Number 1, because Mark has not been asking important and structured questions earlier on in these dates, now they're in a position where Jessica has to speak up and say, hey, we need to ask these questions now. This is a way to avoid vulnerability and avoid getting in touch with your masculine core of asking important questions and not being afraid to push a woman away. So you have to ask those questions early on, frequently, with comfort. Number 2, Jessica is asking for something and Mark just immediately caves. You can see this is a pattern throughout this show, is whenever she asks for something, he says yes without even thinking about what he wants. So he always says, I'm down. Yeah, okay, let's do this. That is not being a leader, that is being led, and it continues to be a pattern throughout their dates. Let's watch one more clip here before I show you another section where Jessica's interacting with another man.
How many kids do you want?
3.
3? I'm down.
It's a short clip, but again, just showing the point how agreeable he is to everything. Jessica says 3 kids. He goes, I'm down. How about thinking about it? How about saying, oh yeah, I would be open to 2 to 4 kids, or I actually want 2, or even agreeing, but take a second to process it before immediately just giving in to what the other person wants. Stop pleasing people because you think that's what they want to hear. Be your authentic self and see if they like you too. In this last clip that I'm sharing with you, I'm going to be showing the end of this episode where Jessica's interacting with another man from the show named Barnett. I want you to see, as a result of everything that's happened in this episode between Jessica and Mark, what Jessica is willing to do when another guy makes a weak ask of her.
What?
You've been high on my list since the beginning. If this place had nobody, no other guys, and no other girls, like, I would propose to you tomorrow.
You would? What do you need me to do?
What do I need you to do?
I'll do whatever you want me to do. If you want me to, like, pull the plug on this other things tomorrow, like, I will.
Okay, let's break this down to 2 pieces. First of all, this guy Barnett says to this woman's face, he says to Jessica, if there were no other women, I would pick you. That's essentially what he's saying. He's saying to her, you're not my favorite. There are a lot of other women that I probably prefer over you. But, you know, if there were no other women here, if you were the only woman, I would pick you. That is such a weak thing to say. I'm not beating him up for it. I just want to demonstrate the point of how much polarity he has been able to create with her, where he can say something so small, and then she turns around, and the second point I wanted to make is she just says to him straight to his face, you tell me to pull the plug on Mark, and I will. That just shows you that the result of all of these things that Mark has done to himself in terms of being feminine, not leading, not taking charge, not being himself, not taking ownership, that she is willing to leave him on a dime for a guy who has created more sexual polarity with her, who says, oh, if there were no other women on the show, I would pick you. So to recap here, number 1, tonality is king. Mark often says stuff like, seriously? Oh my God, really? No freaking way. Don't make those mistakes if that's not who you really are deep down. Number 2, hold the frame more. Ask more questions, especially serious and intimate questions. Number 3, don't laugh at your own jokes. And number 4, remember that polarity and sexual chemistry is a powerful force. So get in touch with your authentic, true core of who you are, so you can stay out of the friend zone and start creating lifelong attraction. I'm Brendan Burns, and thank you for watching another video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button now for access to and updates on all my new videos. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to The Brendan Burns Show, my podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you haven't already, please leave me a podcast review. This helps more people like you find the show. Have a great day.